What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're out here in the Eastern Sierra. We're actually in the Inyo National Forest doing a little more exploring today, but I want to do a video on a topic that's somewhat controversial. I know a lot of people have different ideas, but this is my personal take on it. So that topic is, can a two-wheel drive off-road? Can you off-road on two-wheel drive? Do you need a four-wheel drive to off-road? A lot of debate on this. Yeah, you need it, you know, you can't off-road on two-wheel drive, but this is my personal take on it. Since my vehicle, my Tacoma, is a two-wheel drive, and so this is my personal take on it. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let's get into it. So to begin, we have to look into what's the definition of off-roading. And according to the dictionary, this is from the Webster Dictionary, off-roading means to, relating to, done with, or being a vehicle designated especially to operate away from public roads. And do you guys know that the first time the off-roading is used in a term was in 1954? So if you go by the dictionary definition of off-roading, then technically, yes, you can off-road in a two-wheel drive. So if the road are not paved, technically you are off-roading. Right now I'm in a dirt road up in the National Forest. Technically I'm off-roading. And I've also seen like even a Prius with a little lift was able to off-road. So technically you can off-road in a two-wheel drive. And I live in SoCal, so there's so many fire roads that I've taken my Tacoma on. And I've seen a lot of different type of vans and all type of vehicles. They were able to do this type of roads. So technically, if you go on a fire roads, you are off-roading. So yes, you can off-road in a two-wheel drive according to the dictionary. So there's many types of off-roading. So when we think of off-roading, we think of a particular trail that you go and there's some ruts, some steepy, rocky section that you have to go over, crawl over, whatever. But that's just one form of off-roading. There's so many other forms of off-roading. See, there's mudding, where you basically drive through just a muddy area and see how far your truck can go. And most of the time, those are in another states. California don't have too much mudding, but that's another form of off-roading. Or there's also desert racing, where you take your truck and push as fast as possible into this crazy sandy terrain. And most of the time these trucks are two-wheel drive, and the components, the suspension and everything, the parts that go into these type of trucks costs anywhere between $100 to almost $1 million. So these type of trucks, this type of off-roading, suspension, tires, roll cages, so it goes to a lot. And that's another type of off-roads in desert off-roading, desert running. And obviously a famous one is the Baja 1000, and obviously that's a form of off-roading, and you just go as fast as you can, and these guys are going through 100 miles an hour through the desert. So that's one type of off-roading. But there's another type of off-roading called rock crawling, and they have an event here. It's called the King of Hammers, and especially in California. So these are type of new form of off-roading. Not a new form, sorry, but it combines rock crawling and also just off the beaten path. So these guys are suspension, bigger tires, higher lift. We're able to crawl over this type of rocks. So that's another form of off-roading. And the one that has been very popular lately is probably overlanding. So overlanding is not just off-roading, it combines off-roading, camping, and discovering all together. So you basically just going out to the dirt road and see where you can camp, and you know there's certain trail, or sometimes there's like hundreds of miles of trail, and that's more in Australia. Not too much in the West Coast. We have maybe a few trail that's maybe 10 to 20 to 30, maybe 50 miles, but most of the time you will run into town. So overlanding is another type of off-roading that combine these three elements all together. And that's what I like to do. You know, I am not into rock crawling too much. I don't like to see as fast how fast my truck can go, push it its limit. I like to go and discover things. I like camping. I like to go do outdoorsy stuff. So these are type of overlanding is more my type of off-roading. So with overlanding, two-wheel drive, so far I've been able to hit some of those trails that most 4x4 is supposed to be recommended. But I do have a lift, I do have better new all suspension, so does help with the two-wheel drive. But yeah, so that's another form of off-roading that are new, overlanding, and that's the type of off-roading, or overlanding is the type of off-roading that I like to do. So those are the different type of off-roading that are out there. I'm sure there's many more, but these are the one I've done a real research on. And so far, two-wheel drive, I was able to do a lot of overlanding and a couple off-roading trail, especially in California. So why buy a two-wheel drive when you can buy a 4x4? So that's a question that I've been getting a lot lately, and I'll answer that right now. So for the most part, at least for my own personal reference, I didn't really think about overlanding, off-roading, those kind of things when I bought the truck. I mainly bought it for work, and I do usually do car camping, national parks, whatever, all around the Sierra. So the main reason I bought two-wheel drive was mainly it served my purpose, work, and then a few car camping. So that's why I didn't get a 4x4. And I'm sure there's other reason why other people didn't get two-wheel drive, 4x4 or four-wheel drive. Some of the reason, maybe they inherited a truck and it's two-wheel drive, and maybe they wasn't planning on going some crazy trail, and two-wheel drive serve all their purpose. So there's many reasons why people stick with two-wheel drive. I know a guy, he just bought two-wheel drive. That's all he wants. He wants to go exploring some area with some fishing, a couple of fire road, and that's all he wants to do. And he doesn't want a 4x4. And obviously with 4x4, there's more components that can break down. So when you have a 4x4, chances are, especially older one, it might break down, and then you have to do more maintenance on it. So if you're not planning to do any rock climbing, hardcore 4x4, two-wheel drive is all you need. And sometimes these two-wheel drive do have a locker. I know the TRD off-road, the Tacoma, two-wheel drive have a locker, and I've seen some guys with two-wheel drive with the locker were able to do some crazy trail, some ruts, rock, and with a little lift they were able to do okay. So with two-wheel drive, sometimes people, just different circumstances, and that's the reason why they didn't get a 4x4. My reason basically is for work, and I really think about off-roading, so that was basically the reason why I didn't get 4x4. All right, so for all the two-wheel drive guys out there, just a word of encouragement. Don't let these 4x4 guys, make it negative for you guys to go explore with your two-wheel drive. I know there's a lot of people say, oh, it's not true off-roader if you don't have 4x4, you want a two-wheel drive. But don't let that negativity stop you from going and explore some of these trails like I did. So I've done many of the trail. Obviously I know my limit, and one thing I recommend is always look into trail condition, how long it would be. There's so many information out there when it comes to the trail, so do your research when you do have two-wheel drive. And another thing is having some type of lift, tires will help you with the two-wheel drive situation. So having a lift will clear some of the ruts, rocky section that you encounter two-wheel drive. And tires will help out a lot with having that traction you need to go, especially when it comes to steep or sometime any type of condition, wet, something like that, or snow condition. I don't recommend going icy condition. That's two-wheel drive is hard. I think 4x4 in general, icy condition is really, really bad for any type of vehicles. Other than that is have some type of recovery gears, traction board, some type of tow strap, or anything that will help you, some type of recovery gears. And I'll link to some of the gears that I have that I personally use in the description, so you guys have an idea of what to buy. But always have some type of recovery gears, and I've learned it the hard way throughout the years. Many times I find myself in a situation that wasn't ideal, and in the beginning I didn't have any recovery gears, but throughout the years I learned, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. So definitely read up on some recovery gears if you guys are planning to go off-roading with two-wheel drive. Last but not least is try and go with somebody. It's always fun when you go with somebody off-roading. You just have the experience together, but it's good to help each other out, because then you go first, you get stuck, the person know, okay, they can pull you out. But if you go by yourself, you get stuck, you have no recovery gears, it's gonna be a hard lesson. So go with somebody if you can, but don't let the negativity of guys push you, hey, you're not true off-roader, if you're not 4x4, push you down and not encourage you from going out and explore some of these trails, because I've done it. You know, I got stuck. You know, I'm not gonna hide behind the fact that, yeah, I've been there, done that, but I love it. I love being out here. I learned my lesson, and now I know these are type of things I have to get for two-wheel drive. So hopefully that will encourage you guys from getting more information. If you do have a two-wheel drive and plan to go out, just be prepared. All right, guys, well, hope you guys enjoyed that video on my opinion of, can a two-wheel drive off-road? Can you off-road on two-wheel drive? Do you need 4x4 to off-road? And obviously, look at my truck, it's a two-wheel drive. That hasn't stopped me from going out and discovering some of these trails and having fun, because at the end of the day, I'd rather be in a group of friends doing some light trail, have fun out there, rather than trying to conquer some gnarly trail in my 4x4 by myself. Because I like to have fun with friends, and obviously it's not about conquering a trail, technically more like enjoying in the moment, discovering things. And that's what I'm all about, just discovering new things and just having fun. And then last but not least, try not be discouraging to the two-wheel drive guys. Yeah, because it doesn't help. I mean, sometimes you're the beginner, you just want to go out and have fun in a trail, and if you get bashed on by 4x4, it doesn't help the community in general. So let's encourage one another and have fun in general. So hope you guys like my personal opinion on whether you can off-road and two-wheel drive. Can a two-wheel drive off-road? Do you need 4x4 to off-road? And again, my truck is two-wheel drive, and it hasn't stopped me from doing some cool trails in general. But I've always done my research on the type of trail, terrain, and I try and go with friends if possible. I think 90% of the time I have somebody with me, so that's always a plus. All right, well, that will conclude this video. If you guys like this kind of content, please consider subscribing as I keep trying to discover new trail in my two-wheel drive Tacoma. I have a couple ideas trail trip coming up. I'm going to try and see how far a two-wheel drive with a little lift and suspension can get me. But other than that, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.